So how do you beat titled chess players? That is the topic of discussion in today's videos. Thank you for whoever commented, post more systems against the English defense. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to be showing you guys 3 games that I got with the black pieces against an international master. Many people think titled players are like juggernauts, and granted, grandmasters are. Those guys are not human, but FIDE masters and international masters are very much human. And I believe a large part of why you might think they're a juggernaut is because you get yourself into a sharp opening that they study for 10 hours a day, and you might just watch a 10-minute video on. So today we're going to be looking at systems-based openings, where you will reach an equal game against your opponent, and then you'll see they're just human. So, intro done. Comment down below video ideas. I will make them. Ideas are good. I don't like modern day, like recapping modern tournaments, because all the big guys do that. I'm not a big guy. I like old games. I like openings, middle game. I don't like openings. Openings, middle games, end games. So, to the video, 3 games with the black pieces facing the English defense. Did you solve the puzzle during the intro? Hopefully. So, white's last move was a3 here. What should black do? Black should play the move knight to d3, not hard at all, right? It's just a fork. But then after rook c2, what is the move? Well, the move is not taking the bishop. It's actually playing the move bishop to d4. What? What is the point of this? The point of this are there are 2 attackers on the bishop. White cannot defend against that. And here, he resigned because if you go bishop takes bishop, rook to e1 is checkmate, and that is the point. Now, let's get into the games. So game 1, we are versing Ramla 2020. I don't think he was born in 2020, but then again, there's Faustino Oro, who was born in like... When was Faustino Oro born? He's that chess genius. I think he's Argentinian. He's like a grandmaster almost, and he's like 5. It's crazy. He's not 5, but basically, he's like filthy at chess. I saw him at a tournament in Colombia. He did great. He always does great. I think he drew Vichy Anand recently, right? Yeah, he's fantastic. Future world champion, maybe. So, c4, e5, systems-based openings. It's a reverse Sicilian. If you guys haven't seen the video on the theory, go watch that. Everything in that video is going to be shown in this game. I'll add a link at the end of the video. I know I don't do that. I know you should, so I will do that today. This is the system. It's kind of like a reverse Grand Prix. As you know, we love f4, we love f5 on this channel, so we play a lot of f4, f5. Not going to be discussing the theory because that's what was done in today's video, but I'll explain here and there a little bit. So pawn to d4, bishop to e7. What is the point of this? Well, you kind of get that king's Indian attack, queenless middle game, mind you. Took me a while to find those words, where these bishops are just fantastic. Your pawn structure is not as committed as white's, so you can kind of bring the position where you want to bring it. And you'll bring it somewhere that they haven't studied, so they're human. He does not go for that. Instead, he goes knight c3. And mind you, watch how similar the concepts in this game are. It's a lot of open board, a lot of minor piece maneuvering, so great positional. We both go wrong in some areas, so try to find the better ways. I'll pause the video when we get there. And pawn to c6. It's been a little while since I uploaded a video. To be honest, I just didn't have a video idea, but today we did. Pawn c6. The point, make this bishop worse. Also open c7 for this knight to rotate over to the king side. It's going to be a lot of rotations in this video. So we get knight a6, b3, knight c7, and bishop a3. So I wasn't familiar with this move until about a month ago, and then I might have oopsed myself on a pin and lost my bishop. So now, since I'm scarred from that memory, I go e4, and it happens to be the best move. Now you don't need to worry about this pin. You don't need to worry about losing a tempo, going to e8 and h5 like we want to. You just go e4, gaining some space, shutting off this bishop's diagonal. So there are drawbacks. What are the drawbacks? You give them f4, and you give them maybe d4 is what they want. What do you do here? Well, you push, because maybe they wanted d4, and now they don't get d4. Don't give your opponents what they want. Pawn to f3, surprisingly the best move. Who's that GM Feingold who says never play f3, never play f6? Well, I guess it's the best move, but he played it in 3 games, and I think it ended up being a route of attack for me, and it worked out well. So knight to g4, simple. Just threatening a fork in one move. Is he going to snap off the knight? No, he leaves it there. In some games he will, in some games he won't. I'm going to build up on the pawn on e3. I think that's sensible. It wanted me to go to f6, but See a pawn, take a pawn. See an attack, give an attack, right? Knight to f4, blocking the bishop's route, and I'm just playing caveman chess. I'm just building up on the weakness that is e3. Rook to e1, queen to e7, literal caveman chess. Queen e7 is a mistake. What would you do? Well, it still wants bishop to f6. I moved my bishop to g5 because I wanted it on g5, so I'm not going to do that. He goes knight d1, but see, we're both playing caveman chess. I'm attacking, he's defending. Now, in this position, you should go knight e5 for the next few moves. Ironically, when I do it, it's going to be dubious, but I like to play b5. This is kind of like a banco idea where you're challenging the integrity of the pawn here. Right? You can envision bishop to a6, that rook is squeezed in. You can envision him having a weak pawn, damaging his pawn chain. Just posing questions, asking questions. Okay, bishop to b2, take, and bishop to a6. Wrong idea again. What was the right idea? Still knight e5, routing over, makes some sense. But we got bishop to a6. He should go knight e6 here, but he goes queen c3, right? A lot of caveman chess here, creating a battery. Now I see the backwards bishop move because he gains a tempo, and now I go knight e5, and it's dubious. But he blunders. Why is this a blunder? Calculate the line. The reason this is a blunder is because of knight takes f3, removing the bishop from this diagonal, and then you win the pawn. Kind of self-explanatory, take the bishop first and then win the pawn, but was not self-explanatory to me. Plus, it looks like he wins f5 back. So I don't know how I feel about that line. I like rook b8 because there are tactics in the midst, right? This knight is tied down to d1, so I liked my attacking prospects. So he snapped off the knight. Do you take it with the bishop or the pawn? You take it with the bishop because then it sees the whole diagonal. You take it with the pawn, that might become a passer. Your bishop is not as good. Maybe he can close the position with e4 and shut down your dark squared bishop. So take it with the bishop. He did want to shut down the position after all, but it was a mistake because we win a pawn and then we pin the knight. So he doesn't have time. Prophylactics was needed earlier, it seems, but he does it now. It still is the best move. We snap off the pawn. Could have taken the knight first. He jumps in and then rook to b2. Here, okay, my excuse was we were going to be under time pressure, but we're not. It's just a complicated position. People make mistakes like that one right there. And then the center collapses for him. We have the bishop pair on an open board. This is exactly what you want. These rooks are not in great spots, and the bishops thrive on open boards. Rook takes, a little tactic, because after rook takes, bishop takes, he resigns. We have the bishop pair. We want a piece. We will win the game. On to game number 2. So I'll breeze past the opening because we got the same opening lines, but different middle games. Relatively similar, right? Pin, f3, take, knight g4 is a mistake this time, and this time he elects to take. I quite liked these doubled pawns, and they will be the reason I win this game. Right? You can imagine rook lifts later on. It's nice and defended. Does a lot against the white king. I decided to take with the bishop. Why? Well, queen takes e3 will be a check, so kind of a one-move threat, and he guards it. Now, rotate your pieces over, knight to c7. We are going over to the king side, right? Look at that g5 square. Imagine getting a knight there, and then imagine getting a knight here or here. That's what dreams are made of. So we get knight e6, pawn e4. He gets the super center, but I get my knight to a good square. That is g5. Check, self-explanatory. And here, he went king to g2. He should have gone king to h1. Why is this a mistake? Well, this knight does not have a lot of squares to go to. Cannot go to g2, so we go g5. They say doubled pawns are good. Not for me. Not my doubled pawns. My doubled pawns win games. Right, sometimes weaknesses are strengths. Queen h5, and this is a good example game of how to win on the king side. This is exactly why you shift the queen over to the king side, and it's just too little too late. He plays a couple more moves, but here it's just kind of closing out, and that is what we do. We add pressure to the pin. We develop our pieces. Don't forget about a rook that you have. Okay, he's being a little complicated, but the bishops come in, and look, it's just the bishop pair. You get the bishop pair in this line, and you get an open board. Match made in heaven, might I say. Bishop to g7. No discovered checkmates for him. He gets out of the way. We jump in. He comes closer and loses a bishop because he couldn't help it. And you could take the knight and lose this knight, but I just wanted to consolidate. And consolidate we did. Check. Boom. Checkmate. Look at that. Yeah, all the games were very, very winning. Let's go to the game where there was a tactic. So again, we get the same thing. Grand Prix, reverse Grand Prix. I don't know what it's called. I love this set. Look, he's playing relatively different moves in the opening sometimes. Not really. I'm playing the same moves. I'm pre-moving the C. I lost 7 seconds. We're on move 10. F3, take, knight G4. It's weird that, I guess it is different positions, right? Because it was the best move, and then it was a mistake, and now it's a good move. Comment down below, what's the difference in these games? To me, it looks like the same exact position. I guess because I'm playing a system. But now we are built up on E3. He stops it with knight F4, but you do win a pawn. Ironically, this is a balanced position, even though he's down a pawn. I don't so much understand why. Apparently, because he can go rook F2. I'm very happy with my position. Now find the best continuation in these complications. He's forking, I'm attacking his rook. I eat his rook, it's a good move. He eats my rook and I go wrong. Look at this line. So I calculated here, but I stopped one move too short. So don't do that. Don't do what I do. Except play this opening and play systems against titled players. Good things should happen. So I saw knight D2, but then I saw boom, check, king moves. And I was like, I mean, I take and he takes, and I didn't like it so much. I still have the bishop pair on an open board. Still winning, but apparently you just take a pawn and this knight is trapped. I failed to notice that the knight is trapped, and I actually solved a Dvoretsky puzzle exactly like this, where you were supposed to look one move further, and I did it in training, but not in practice, right? So, boom, boom, I take instead. Not so great, but we still have the bishop pair, as does he, but I have the bishop pair. That's a difference. All right, we pin the pawn and he pushes. He should not have pushed it. He should not have pushed. He should have gone knight e2, guarding everything over here on d4. These are great practice games, even though I'm playing the wrong move sometimes. This knight should go to g5. It goes to d4, jumping into the center. Find the computer line here for white. He didn't find it. Had he found it, I would have been like, whoa, you are pretty good at chess. The computer line is rook takes knight. It's a sacrifice exchange and then going here. So if I take the knight, I get forked. And if I take, here, it's equal. Isn't, like, that's just crazy. I mean, rook b6, knight d, this is just craziness. This is a crazy line that I don't think either of us were going to find. I wonder, yeah, some people would find that. But he goes back, and that gives me time to lock up the position. Better late than never. Pawn g5, look at that. That guy is MVP. Before he was doubled, now he's not doubled. And it's doing good stuff over here on the 4th rank. We got bishop e3, knight c2. All right, boom, bam. That looks pretty good. Bishop to f2. And why did I not take this? Well, I didn't take this because rook c1. I did not want to lose my bishop pair. I did not want to trade into that endgame. So instead I developed. Funny how late these pieces get into the game and you're still okay, right? You play like down a rook and a bishop for 25 moves, but then you damage his structure and get your other rook in the game. So now he has the bishop pair. Oh no. Oh no. But too little too late. You go knight d3, rook c2, bishop to d4. And as you guys saw, okay, he didn't resign. He went rook e2, but I just traded, won his bishop. And okay, actually he played a little more, but I'll just talk as I breeze through these moves. All right, he timed out, could have resigned, tomato, tomato. Comment down your YouTube videos for me down below. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.